The workday over, the sun setting, I'm high. I cannot wait to spend this time with you. I am Chelsea. You can find me at Cowboy Chels on all forms of social media except for Reddit. She is an uninsured driver who nannies. She got the username before I could get my little paws on it. Bummer. Let's talk about monster fuckers, or more precisely, alien lovers, while using this little palette that we made in my last video. I'm very excited. Here's my Kindle. I'm bragging now. This is my Kindle case. This case has a beautiful cover for whenever I'm wrestling and tussling, I'm throwing things into my bags, I have places to be, and I want to protect such beautiful mistiffs as this. This is the book that we were talking about. Don't judge it by its cover, okay? Here's my second Kindle case for whenever I'm in a real marathon reading run. I need a pop socket. I do feel that this lighting is ghastly, but we must persist. My morning skincare is just a vitamin C moisturizer. I like the Sunday Riley CEO Glow. I do have the matte hippie one to follow it as it is on its last legs. I use the Alpine Beauty eye cream at night. I use this one, the Cocoa Kind Fine Line Peptide Gel in the day because I really don't like the lines and puffiness that I get while I'm sleeping, and lets me begin my day. Choosing Theo is an alien romance novel featured on Kindle Unlimited by Victoria Aveline. Our main character, Jade, is in her late 20s maybe? She's a landscape designer, and whilst mourning the aunt who raised her, she pushed away like all of her loved ones, all of her friends. So she's very lonely. She's very isolated and focused on work. Do want to say in regards to alien romance, what draws me in is that I read an alien romance book about a girl in high school who falls in love with a guy and he turns out to be an alien. I read that on Wattpad.com when I was like 10 or 11. I am no stranger to this game. The most popular alien romance is by Ruby Dixon. It's the Ice Planet Barbarian series. The thing is, I read a few of them, but I had a hard time with a lot of very specific things about it. And in Ice Planet Barbarians, the first time that they are meeting is an unconsensual act upon her. And I didn't like it. So I couldn't let my guard down for the rest of the story and just kind of lose myself in it because I'm constantly waiting for the other shoe to drop in that regard. Back to Choosing Theo, I was very cautious. I was on the lookout for these things. I was not expecting to, I don't know. It's just that Kindle Unlimited people, they recommend things that have the most evil little men. Jade is kidnapped from her home and taken on this spaceship with these scary reptile men who just hiss at her. She's very dirty in her pajamas, and she thinks that there are possibly other human women on the ship. Food sucks. My Elf Brow Wow is on its last legs, absolutely on its last legs. It is so dry, it is no longer fibrous, but by acknowledging it in its old age, I am respecting what it once was. Going over it a little bit with the Half Magic Brow Grippy to keep my brows in a shape that I like. I'm very beautiful. I think that I like this typology highlight. I believe so. I keep using it. The issue with this understanding is that I frequently just like little potions. So I've yet to decide if I have liked the application and the little glass bottle, or if I have actually liked the product. I will keep you updated on this front. I feel that I do like the product. It is very sparkly. It's just a shade over the line of a pearlescent effect. On the other side of that line is a very fine glitter. So I think it's just up to your taste. I'm not fully sure of what eye look I want to create today. I do know that I want to use this green eyeliner on my lower lash line. I'm dipping a Sigma E54 into this Melt Cosmetics shadow from Smoke Sessions. Shortly after that, she is sent in a little egg pod to a planet below. I was very pleased with this. I didn't want one of her captors to be the love interest. I'm pretty, unfortunately, lukewarm to our protagonist, but there are things that she does that I like. She's very proactive, she's very brave, and she is always willing to do absolutely anything. I love that in a character. It makes reading so much more enjoyable. With E30, I'm going to take quite a bit of this shade right here from Smoke Sessions. I love this brush. I got it for the holidays one year. I'm going to be very heavy-handed with this in the crease. I am not looking for a shadow. I'm looking for queens placed on my eyes. Jade is rescued by some people who look remarkably similar to humans, but just a little different. This part of their face a little more tilted up, eyes just a little bit of a different shape, but humans. All different skin tones, but the real indicator of race here is the tattoo-like markings on everyone's skin. Long story short, they are forbidden from returning her to Earth because Earth needs to evolve at its own pace. They can't know that there are all these different type of life forms out there. They are very far away from Earth. They are not allowed to go near its atmosphere. I'm taking some of this dark red from ColourPop. I think it's in their Rock On palette. I was so close to taking this dark blue from Viseart and using it in the same way. So there are endless options available to us. It's very illegal to do what these creatures did to Jade by snatching her up. Despite looking similar, life is very different on this planet. There was a plague that wiped out quite a lot of their population, and the majority of it being their women. And baby girls are so rare. This, that, and the other leads to all of the women being treated very, very generously. The men train in high school to be good husbands. Marriages are more like a trial coupling. They only last 3 months. Men desperately want to be picked by the women to be their husband for these 3-month periods, unless of course they get extended. I know that I want to tap this Clionadh shade on the tops of my lid, but I know from last time that it's very pigmented, so I'm just gonna be very gentle. Lo and behold, Jade just has to pick a husband to live with for 3 months to learn about their culture. But as I said, the husband cooks, cleans for her, never ever is there any kind of forced anything. And genuinely, these attitudes towards women are like wholeheartedly taken in by the men there. They're very doting. Jade is super attracted by this one with black tattoos going up and down his arms, and everyone else is like freaked out by him. It's like a fashion show of hot guys. She chooses him. She's the only one to have ever chosen him. I love this eye makeup. I'm gonna put the liner on. This is Theo. Everyone is scared and disgusted by these black marks for some reason, even though they also have the marks. They're like golden or silver or whatever. Upon adding the liner, I need to put the brown from Viseart on the lower lash line underneath it because it looks really fucking weird. I'm using a brush from Fantasy Cosmetica. Theo, unlike all of these other good husbands, is so unconvinced that anyone would ever choose him that he believes she must be an intergalactic spy. I'm fanning out a little brown over the harsh line just to blend it just a smidge. I do really like a heavy circle shape around my eyes with product, and I do that very often. Today I want to blend it out just a bit. After some tension in the home, Theo decides that the best way to catch this girl in the act of being a spy is to behave as a loving and doting husband, because of course she won't be able to bear to be around him and his kind, hot, naked body. And ultimately he is kind. This is something I always struggle with romance, is liking the guy. He is kind. He is ultimately a good person, and so it made it just so much easier to like the book. I'm done with the eyeshadow. I'm going to put on some of the e.l.f. Halo setting powder and then some Tarte bronzer. Just see what happens. Of course, Jade is like, this guy's great. And they fall in love navigating things like, who kidnapped her? Is she gonna get kidnapped again? Where'd she go? And it's very lovely on their planet because they don't have to deal with things like poverty. I'm using the dark brown Maybelline Sky High mascara because I really don't have time to play games today. I need to use what I know works. And someone who has my back, who has always been there for me, is the darkest brown Maybelline Sky High mascara. I do have a note. It really behooves Kindle Unlimited writers to write decent stuff very quickly and get it out. Kindle Unlimited authors are paid per page turn. There are benefits to that. Unlike traditionally published authors, they don't receive their income as an advance of sorts that can only be earned past once they outsell that advance. But they also don't have a team whose whole MO is to make this the best story it could possibly be. There was no like grammar issues, there were no glaring plot holes, but there was a lack of, oh shit, I'm going spider leg on these lashes. That wasn't the mascara's fault, it was me because I did like a million coats. Without the perspectives of multiple professionals creating the finished story, there was a lack of depth to situations. It wasn't a lack of depth to world building. I actually think that the author did a wonderful job with world building that you do not typically see in Kindle Unlimited, let me tell you. But rather, situations would happen, even sex scenes, and there would be a lack of internal world within the actions. So they're having their little thoughts, but they're not having those thoughts during a scene. They're having it before or after. Does that make sense? Let me take off this lip mask. This particular lip combo has been so fucking good to me lately. It is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Wooden lip pencil in cool brown and the Half Magic lip gloss in Chaos Prone. It is a brown with sparkle and it's just so fucking good, dude. And it's very beautiful. I like it very much. All that to say, this is one of the better Kindle Unlimited books that I've read, but had it had a team behind it, I feel like it could have been like genuinely a wonderful book. I mean, it's very popular for Kindle Unlimited, don't get me wrong, and I'm certain that the method of book release has really benefited the author, but I would have loved to see it. Here's the finished makeup look. I wish the sun was up too. I have 3 lights surrounding me. All in all, I think that straight women should consider other planets. Before I go, I have a playlist for you. The theme is alien abduction. You fall in love. Unfortunately, you do break up. He is the prince to another planet and he didn't even mean to abduct you. He came to Earth to get soil, okay, or wheat or something, and you were staying with your aunt because you wanted to have a summer of adventure and you feel like your parents can't do that for you. I think you're like 20. You get taken up in that spaceship. He's so apologetic. Unfortunately, he only has gas to go straight to his planet, so he has to take you there and then he promises he'll take you right back. On the way, you fall in love. It's beautiful. It lingers. And then when you get there, you realize that his planet is always going to be his #1 priority. And isn't that kind of why you love him? He sends you back in a space pod by yourself to Earth. And you return forever changed. Here's a QR code for this themed playlist that I've made, and the link will be below. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I had a blast. If you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe and like this page. It helps small channels like my own out so much. Bye!